Hi, everyone. Welcome back to English Listening Journey. I'm Emma, and as always, I'm joined by Matthew. Today, we have an interesting and very important topic: how to think in English.
That's right. Many English learners translate everything in their heads before speaking, and that slows them down. If you want to speak English fluently and naturally, you have to start thinking in English. It's not something that happens overnight, but with practice, you can train your brain to do it.
So in today's episode, we'll share practical techniques to help you stop translating from your native language and start thinking directly in English. Let's begin with the first step: using simple English words in your daily thoughts.
Yes. This is a great way to start. When you wake up in the morning, try to describe what you're doing in English. Instead of thinking in your native language, say to yourself, "I'm getting out of bed," "I'm brushing my teeth," or "I'm making coffee." These are simple phrases, but they train your brain to process thoughts in English.
That's a great exercise. Another thing that helps is naming objects around you in English. When you see something, don't think of the word in your language and then translate it, just think of the English word directly. For example, if you see a chair, just think chair, not the word in your native language first.
Right. And you can make this more advanced by creating short sentences in your head. Instead of just thinking chair, you can say to yourself, "This chair is comfortable," or "I need to move this chair closer to the table." The more you do this, the faster your brain gets used to processing thoughts in English.
That's a fantastic tip. Now, let's talk about a common struggle expressing complex ideas. Sometimes, learners have a thought in their native language, but they don't know how to say it in English, so they get stuck.
Yes. A good solution is to simplify your thoughts. If you don't know how to say something exactly, break it down into smaller, simpler sentences. For example, if you want to say, "I'm feeling nostalgic because I saw an old photo of my childhood," but you don't know the word nostalgic, you can say, "I saw an old photo of my childhood, and it made me think about the past. It made me happy and a little sad."
That's a great strategy. It's all about finding another way to express your idea. You don't have to use perfect words, just communicate the meaning. Over time, as you learn more vocabulary, you'll be able to say things more precisely.
One of the best ways to train your brain to think in English is to practice speaking out loud, even when you're alone. Try narrating your day. For example, "Now I'm going to work. I need to buy some groceries." Or, "I have a meeting this afternoon." Talking to yourself may feel strange at first, but it really works.
Yes! And another great technique is using mental conversations. Imagine a situation, like ordering food at a restaurant, and play both roles in your mind. For example, imagine the waiter asking, "What would you like to order?" and then think of how you would respond in English.
That's a fantastic exercise. You can do this with all kinds of situations: meeting a new person, asking for directions, or making a phone call. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel when you actually have these conversations in real life.
Another key tip is to surround yourself with English as much as possible. Listen to English podcasts, watch English movies, and read in English. When you constantly hear and see English, your brain starts processing it more quickly.
Yes. And don't just listen, try to repeat what you hear. If you watch a movie, pause and repeat a sentence out loud. If you hear an interesting phrase in a podcast, say it to yourself. This helps reinforce natural sentence structures in your mind.
Great advice. Another important thing is not to stress too much about mistakes. Many learners hesitate because they're afraid of saying something wrong. But mistakes are part of the learning process. The more you practice thinking in English, the better you'll get.
That's true. And speaking of practice, another great method is journaling in English. Every day, write a few sentences about what happened in your day, how you feel, or what your plans are. This helps you organize your thoughts in English and improves your fluency.
That's a great exercise. Writing forces you to think in English, and over time, this habit will help you transition to thinking in English naturally.
So, let's quickly summarize our top tips for thinking in English.
First, start with simple words and phrases describe what you're doing in English.
Second, name objects around you in English and create short sentences about them.
Third, simplify complex thoughts. If you don't know a word, find another way to say it.
Fourth, talk to yourself out loud and practice mental conversations in different situations.
Fifth, surround yourself with English. Listen, read, and watch English content regularly.
Sixth, repeat phrases from movies, podcasts, or conversations to reinforce natural sentence structures.
Seventh, don't be afraid of mistakes. Learning is all about practice and improvement.
And finally, keep a journal in English to train your brain to organize thoughts naturally.
These are all simple but powerful techniques that will help you think in English faster and more naturally.
That's right! We hope these tips help you on your English learning journey. Keep practicing and don't give up.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to English Listening Journey for more episodes.
See you next time!